Welcome to today's Coach's Corner. I'm Mike Van Hooser. I have this quote that we use with athletes a lot of times and also with business leaders and entrepreneurs when we're coaching them. And it says, focus on what you can control, influence what you can, and flush the rest. And it comes from watching a Kobe Bryant game and where he did not have a very good game several years ago when he was still living and just playing incredible basketball, and he didn't have a good shooting night. And the reporters asked him about that game and said, what are you going to do with that game? And he said, I'm going to flush it. And they were like, what? He goes, I'm going to flush it like I was flushing it down the toilet. And I can only focus on what I can control and influence the things that I can. But with things that I can't control, I'm going to flush it and move on to the next game. And he did, and had a great shooting night the next night. And I think it's really important when we think about that. There are three aspects of that. And I want to focus on the first aspect of that quote, and that's focus on what you can control. And talk about what that means and give you 5 categories of things of how you can focus on what you can control, whether it be in sports, business, or life. And I think the first thing is thoughts. We can choose to focus on the right thoughts. And we have an axiom in sports psychology that talks about what you choose to focus on magnifies in size. So based on your thoughts, if you're thinking about the wrong thoughts, those are going to just get bigger and bigger in your mind versus focusing on the wrong thoughts. And it goes both ways. If we focus on the wrong thoughts, they're not going to help us. If we focus on the right thoughts, those are going to get bigger and bigger in our mind as well. So we have to make sure that we're thinking about the right thoughts and focus on the right thoughts entering our mind. And if we have negative thoughts coming in, choose to replace those with positive thoughts and thoughts that'll be more helpful. I think the second thing is about our energy and effort. We can control our energy and effort. And so when we think about that, I think about focused energy and purposeful effort. So especially when I'm coaching an athlete, whatever the sport might be, whether it be more of a stop and go sport like golf, or whether it be basketball, something that's fast-paced, or soccer, thinking about how are you focusing your energy and using focused energy, and then using purposeful effort, not just effort for effort's sake or misdirected in some way that's not going to be very helpful to you and your teammates, but how can you have focused energy and purposeful effort? And energy and effort leads to unleashing your talent. Often when I see an athlete that's not having a good shooting night or they're not playing well, you can trace it back to what is their energy and effort level. And given that all things are equal and they have good talent, when they approach the game with energy and effort, then they're going to be able to unleash their talent. And that's true in any aspect of life. And so I want you to think about, that even if it's just at home or at work or some other place, what kind of energy and effort are you bringing each day to the day? And then think about that, how it has an impact. If you bring the right energy and the right effort to your day, it's going to unleash your talent and everything that you're trying to do. I think a third way are the words that we speak to both ourselves and to other people. And it's using positive self-talk. So we can control what we say and what we speak both to ourselves and to other people. And are you choosing every day to speak positive thoughts to other people? Are you choosing to speak positive thoughts to yourself? Are you letting negative self-talk kind of ruin your attitude, and ruin your mind, and ruin the ability that you have to make an impact in this day? And so it's important to think about the words you speak to yourselves and the words that you use with yourselves. And I've said this on other podcasts we have, but a lot of times I'll hear an athlete say, well, tomorrow I'm just going to worry about that. And I know what they're saying, but they're already starting with a negative word. Worry is a negative word. And so we get them to change that vocabulary and say, well, really, tomorrow I'm going to focus on this versus worrying about that. And I think it's little and subtle things that can enter our mind as far as our self-talk to ourselves and to other people that can impact performance. And so we can control that. So focusing on what we can control in our words that we speak to ourselves and others has a huge impact in what we're able to do. A fourth thing would be your attitude. And so we have a choice about our attitude. We can control our attitude. We can choose to have a positive attitude or a negative attitude. And it doesn't mean that we can't be authentic in who we are. You may not be just a over-the-top, gregarious type person. But you can choose to have a positive mindset, and you can choose to have a positive attitude. And those two things are linked. Having a positive mindset leads to a positive attitude. And so a lot of the things we're talking about lead up to what is your attitude for the day. And even when bad things happen in some type of game or match or performance or day, do you choose to have a positive attitude? And I think it's important that we choose that, and we have a choice about that. I love the quote that said, life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we react to it. And it's about having the positive attitude going into it no matter what happens in the day. Not that we have to embrace bad things, but that we choose in spite of bad things to have a positive attitude and a positive outlook on where things could go. And that leads to the fifth thing. And the fifth thing, as far as focusing on what we can control, is our response. It's our response to bad situations. It's even our response to good things that happen. We can't be thinking about the past and thinking about past plays, good or bad, and not respond to the current moment and be present in the current moment. And sometimes I'll see an athlete get down because a team scores first, or they've had several good plays in a row and they're celebrating and doing all of these things. And the response is hanging the head. It's not responding with resilience and perseverance and coming back and doing the things that they can control as a team and as individuals as well. So it's important that we choose our response even in negative situations and negative circumstances. And we do have a choice about our response. So 5 things that can help you in making the most of the opportunities that you have before you by focusing on what you can control. And you can control these 5 things. Your attitude, your response, the words you speak to yourselves, the energy and effort that you put forth, and also the thoughts that you think in your mind. And all of them are connected, and all of them come together to help you unleash your best. So focus on those 5 things. Focus on what you can control. The things you can't, flush them by the wayside. If there are things you can influence, great. But really focus on what you can control today, and that will help you to make the most of the moments in your life and also help you be your best every day in sports, business, and life. As always, make the most of the moments in your life and make it a great day.